Ready.
All right, let's do it.
Listo.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to What I Wish You Knew About Your Wedding. We are super excited. We have Daniel here from Core Event Co. Now, let me tell you guys a little bit about Daniel. He is extremely talented in the area of, I'm probably messing this up, but of floristry, floral. I've worked several weddings where he was the florist and provided all of that. And I've just seen some really creative and amazing work. And that's why I asked Daniel to be on the show. So today we're going to be just going over a lot of topics covering wedding floral, things you need, things you should be thinking about, considering. We're going to give you guys a lot of information just strictly on this episode. It's all about wedding floral. So if that's important to you, you're going to want to watch this entire episode. Daniel, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, super excited. And again, like I just love the work that you do. And then also when you work, one of the things I noticed right off the bat, the first wedding that I worked that you were doing floral, was just how like intense you were. I think like with making sure everything was just right, like readjusting things a few different times. It's not like you just slammed it down on the table
Right.
and like that's good, like walked away. Like I see the care and the touch that you put into things,
Right.
and making sure things actually aesthetically look good. And so I'll just let you take over for a minute, talk a little bit about yourself. I know you do more than just floral. And can we just talk really quick, actually, before you take over? So Daniel made this, and he made this today fresh, and he made it to match the aesthetic of the room. It looks incredible. After you give us an introduction, why don't you can tell us a little bit about what you did here. But yeah, let's hear about all the things you do besides even just the floral.
Okay. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the owner of Core Event Co. We are a floral event planning and coordinating company, so we do all three. But the highlight for today is going to be the florals, which is what we specialize in. So today I did bring this arrangement, and it features hydrangea, the bells of Ireland. We have some stock in there. We have some filler floral, and I really wanted to complement the room. And I saw that there was a lot of greenery going on in here.
Yeah.
So I chose to do a greenery and white arrangement. And yeah, we are 5 years in business.
Wow.
We started when I was 18. So it's been amazing thus far. I met you at a venue in Paris. And ever since then, we've worked together in a few weddings.
Yep.
And like he noted, a little bit about me is that I like to stay at the weddings and really make sure that everything is perfect. Usually some florists like to just drop off the florals and then just call it a day, but I like to stay and make sure everything is perfect, because to me it's not just like a business, it's
Right.
someone's wedding day. It's like their
Yes.
special day, and hopefully they won't get married again, so it's like a one-time thing. So I just want to make sure everything is perfect for them.
Right. Yeah. No, this is amazing, and I love how, like, obviously you would know all the names of everything, but yeah, it's like I would have no clue. But no, this is a really cool piece that you made today. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy, because you did that like today before you came here. So, yeah, that's really cool, and I like, most of our guests have the same like attitude about weddings and the same approach. Um, how concerned they are with how big of a day it is. And like you
Right.
said, hopefully it's only happening once,
Right.
and that's it. And so to make sure, like we do, like other vendors we've had on the show, we all feel like we want to make the day extra special as best as we can.
Right.
And definitely that's what I've seen in your work. So you already kind of touched on a little bit, but I want to get more into, um for everybody watching, is walk us through just what like it is to work with you, in the sense of someone's hired you to do their floral. What does the day on the day of, what does it look like? Like, how early are you getting there? You mentioned you stay. How late do you stay? And then like how long does it take to like typically get all the floral in, and for you to get out? Like, just let's walk through that. So are you getting there like 2 hours early, 1 hour early? Like, does it just depend, or what is a typical like wedding setup look like for you?
Okay. Well, usually most ceremonies start like around 3 p.m., 2 p.m. Some at 4 p.m. So we'll get there usually 5 hours in advance.
5 hours?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
Whoa.
serious?
Yeah. So
I had no idea.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So majority of the stuff we bring is already pre-made, but you just want to get there early because you never know what could happen.
That's
Okay.
true.
Like I'd rather have spare time than have like be rushing last minute. You want to
Yeah,
have
right.
everything done before guests start to arrive because you do start arriving an hour before.
Yes,
So if
absolutely.
your ceremony's at 3, guests are there at 2. So you need to be done, cleaned up. Like you don't want your guests to see like the florist like doing anything.
That
So I'd
does
rather
make
get there
sense.
5 hours in advance, make sure everything is good. Depending on what the client wants, usually they'll ask for an arch. And so you have to make that in-house. So we'll build it at the location.
Okay.
So that will require a little bit more time, but usually the stereotypical time that we like to go is 5 hours in advance.
Wow.
Wow.
I had no idea you were getting
Right.
there that early.
Yeah.
Because when I get there, florals typically either like finished or maybe like just finishing up, but I get there 2 hours early,
Right.
right? So that does make sense because when I've seen you work, you're pretty much already done when I get there, and that's
Right.
2 hours before the ceremony starts. That's weird because I didn't.
Yeah, I
had
never
no
thought
idea.
about that. Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so it's like broken down in like categories. So each hour is devoted to something. So usually we try to tackle the ceremony site first, get that out of the way because that's what the guests are going to see first.
Right.
And we'll leave details of the reception afterwards. So let's say if they do like they booked everything, we'll start with the arch, start building that, get that really like stabilized and everything. And then we'll do fillers, do the aisle pieces and everything. From there, we'll go to reception. And from that, the last 2 hours are usually devoted to being with the bride and the groom. So, usually, what I like to do is I like to hand deliver the bridal bouquet
Okay.
and make sure she loves everything about it. I always tell them, I'm like, please hold it, look at yourself in the mirror. By this time, they have their dress on. I'm like, if you don't like anything about it, I can change
Wow.
something. So, even if it's like an hour before, I will redo it if you changed your mind. But something about us is that we do complimentary bridal bouquet mock-ups. So 2 months in advance before your wedding, I will go to your house or you can come to mine and I'll do a mock-up of the bouquet so you can physically hold it. Because people think like bouquets are something simple, but it's what you're going to be holding the whole wedding day.
Yes.
So you never know if you want a big arrangement, a small arrangement, you want it to be cascading, you want it to be simple, you want it to look organic. That's why we like to do the mock-up. That way the day of, you're not nervous and you know exactly what you're going to get.
That's
That's smart.
And I feel like that has relieved
crazy.
so much stress from my brides because
Yeah.
they know exactly what their bouquet is going to look like. But still, then after the mock-ups, the day of the wedding, I still like to offer if they want any changes because people change their mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Or once you see yourself with the glam, the hair, and the dress, you could change your mind. But usually, I like to offer that just like to make sure they're happy.
Right. Wow.
That's super cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think other florists. I don't
What was
even at my wedding. Yeah,
what
we
was it
didn't
like that with
we didn't
your
have that
wedding?
at all. No,
She just like designed
just
it,
ordered it. Yeah,
just
and then
ordered it.
got there like a day or two before, and that was it. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't. I mean, so obviously we're not like behind the scenes with the florists that other florists we work with, and like
Right.
I wouldn't have known that you were doing all that. That's like, would you say that's unique to you, or is that like an above and beyond, or do you think other florists are doing what you're doing, like in that sense?
So it's not common, but I like to incorporate it because since I also am an event planner, it's kind of like a trait that event
Mm.
planners have. They'll kind of like do this, like make sure all the details are perfect, but
Right.
it's kind of goes into the same aspect. So with as a florist, like I like to go above and beyond. It's not the norm, but it's something that I've noticed has helped me gain a lot of clientele because brides are like happy, they're stress free because they know exactly what they're going to get and they know they're going to have someone there all day to make sure everything about the florals is perfect.
Is that so like is that just it may not be the right word, but is it complimentary or just something that's included when they hire you, or is it like it's not something you're like, hey, you booked me for an extra fee, I'll do
Oh, got
this.
it. No,
No, it's just included. You just
it's
do it.
included. It's
Wow.
part of us.
Yeah, because most people I feel like would probably
Right.
charge for the like the extra like, okay, for instance, like with hair and makeup, I know that like a test trial, you pay for
Right.
that, right? Because they it's their time and stuff. But for you, you're just including that, which is
Yeah, so once
incredible.
you book us, we'll set a date and we'll do a complimentary bouquet mock-up.
That's super
Wow.
cool.
And so I'll come basically what we do is I will already have an idea of what you want. And so I'll come already prepared with the bouquet in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like the size, you want to try something different, I always encourage brides to try everything. Like we'll be there 2 hours just redoing the bouquet until you find the perfect size.
Wow.
Because sometimes you'll think you know what you want, but then you see something else or you hold something different and then you're like, wow, I like totally love this instead. And that's why I like to offer it, because hopefully you only get married once.
Right.
And so you can't redo it. So I really want brides to make sure they're 100% satisfied with what they're going to get.
Yeah. Well, and then there's no like because we have had weddings. I know I've had plenty of weddings where the bride is upset about the bouquet. Like
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Yeah.
plenty.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like, oh, it's not what I expected.
Wrong color.
Wrong color.
everything
I was
like
expecting
that.
a bigger cascade. I asked for this. I wanted more of whatever. You know, we've heard that in conversations like prior to ceremony, after ceremony. And I will say most of the time the biggest complaint that I will hear about is specifically the bouquet. It's not the arch, it's not the centerpieces. The bouquet is the most critical piece. Would you agree? It's like the most critical piece of the wedding.
I would agree, because it's something that you're holding the entire time.
Time,
It's going to
yeah.
be in all your photos. It's going to be the memory you remember, because
Right.
it will be in all your photos. People always frame photos of their wedding day. So you will see the bouquet.
Right.
And if you hate it, it's going to be something you're going to always remember.
That's true.
That way, that's why the bouquet mock-up will prevent any chances that you don't like it,
Yeah,
because you'll know 100% that you're satisfied with
Yeah.
what you chose.
that is next. That is next level. It's not even something I would even think of. Like
Yeah.
that you would do, or that a florist would do. Like that's really cool. I mean, it's literally like a trial, like a hair and makeup trial. So you know that you're gonna like your makeup on the day. It's the same thing.
Right.
That's really unique that you
And then
do that.
you get to keep the bouquet as well. The
The mock-up?
mock-up?
you get to
Wow.
keep it.
Okay.
And that's basically like a guarantee, because you will see how long the florals last. You'll see how good quality it is.
Yeah.
So it's an even
Almost like quality assurance. Like,
Exactly.
like you know what you're getting
Exactly.
is good. Man, that's crazy. So okay, so typically you get so you're there for, and then you'll stay until what, through ceremony? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
You'll
So
just you leave after ceremony, or do you stay a little bit longer?
so I'll stay longer, because after I give the bouquet to the bride, I like to aid the photographers and make sure they get the shots of the bouquet, because a lot of times they'll focus on like the couple, and I want the bride to remember like her bouquet. So I'll make sure that they capture good photos of
Oh,
it.
that's true.
Yeah.
I never thought about that either.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, like because you're making. I don't think I've seen photographers like they're always focused on the pose or the
Right.
angle
Yeah.
or look at him, but they're never. I've never heard
They
them
don't
say
care
like,
where the
"Hey,
bouquet
like
is at. Yeah.
they don't care where the bouquet is at."
Like if they're if the groom's dipping the bride,
Or
like the bouquet
whatever.
might
Yeah, the
be
bouquet
like
guy would be
upside down
right.
type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
see what you're saying, yeah.
you're I would say then probably I would probably say then the brides you work with, then you're even enhancing the quality of their photos.
I would
Like
think so.
it's extending even beyond what you do. It's like so the quality of your service even extends beyond the service you're providing.
Yeah. It's not just like delivering florals, it's a
Right.
whole experience.
Wow.
That makes
My
sense.
mind's a little bit blown right now.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Like we're learning so much cool stuff on
Yeah, like, it's
doing this podcast. Like this is crazy.
like even just like how to hold the bouquet. Like you don't want to just hold it up, because then you won't really see the
Mhm.
beauty of the bouquet.
Right.
I mean, it is pretty in all 360,
Yeah.
but the beauty is when you hold it a little bit angled,
Right.
then you get to see the entire front or the cascade.
Right.
So it's just like little details like that.
Yeah. Do you do that even like pre-ceremony? Do you coach the bride on how to
Yeah.
hold
so
it during
the
ceremony?
bride, the bridesmaids, everyone
Really?
who's getting florals, I'll tell
Wow.
them exactly how to hold it. I'm like, I'll always ask them, does everyone here know how to hold a bouquet? Usually the answer is no, or
Right.
they think they do, but it's a little bit different. And so then I'll like physically show them and like give them like tips and insights. And then before I give them the bouquet, I will dry the bottom of the stems, because if they're wet and you give it to the bride or somebody, it's going to stain their dress with water. And then all the photos you're going to see like just droplets of water, and we don't want that. So I will dry
Wow.
the bouquet before giving it, and I will make sure to tell one of the bridesmaids to always dry the bridal bouquet before giving it to the bride, like throughout the wedding day, because I will leave a vase so that when she's not using the bouquet, when she's dancing or
Yes,
whatnot,
right.
she leaves it in floral so that it
So
stays fresh all
looking
day.
fresh. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, because I don't think other people that we've
Nobody
worked
does
with.
this.
No, yeah, they
No, they don't do
just
this.
leave it on the table, like
I don't
at the
think I've
sweetheart
seen.
table,
I've not seen.
slaying
I've
there.
not seen a lot of this.
Huh? That's really cool.
I mean, could it be happening behind the
Behind the
scenes?
scenes
Could
that we
some
don't
of this
know?
be happening? Maybe.
I don't
Like
know.
I'm not there when they deliver the bouquet to the bride. I'm
But
not.
for the people watching, how's the proper way to hold a bouquet?
So you want to hold it kind of like where your belly button is, put
Okay.
the stems there. Obviously, not like pushing onto
Yeah,
your
right.
dress or your clothing, and then angle it a little bit.
Okay.
So it's not going to be at a 90-degree angle, like a 45,
A 45. Yeah.
So it's like you're aiming it at people almost,
and have it at
instead
the
of
height
straight
of
up.
like your belly button.
Yeah.
Okay.
And having it at that height will make for women, it will make your arms like look proper in the photos, or when you're walking, it won't look awkward.
Okay.
So that's why I always like the 45-degree angle at the belly button height.
That's super cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone coach anyone.
I unless it's happening behind the scenes, I don't know if I've seen any of this like
Yeah.
happening. Like
Right.
not with the florist.
Right.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
No,
I think
definitely
most of the
not.
time it just
Definitely not
gets-
with the florist.
I think most of the
yeah.
time it just gets dropped off, delivered.
Yeah. So definitely never with the florist,
They
but
place it, and then they're usually out. Most I would say almost all weddings we do, the florist is gone once it's all set up.
the only person that would
they don't stay
ever
through ceremony.
do that might be the coordinator, because usually photographers are already outside, so they're just waiting. They're just aiming down the walkway, so they're not directing
Yeah,
people how to stand or what to do.
Only time I typically see florists stay behind is when they're going to repurpose the pieces from the arch
Right.
or ceremony. You could tell me after this, they repurpose the pieces and they go inside either on the tables around the sweetheart table. I'm assuming that's a money saver, but that is typically from my memory is the only times I've seen the florist stay behind. It's to repurpose stuff from ceremony site. Is that something that you see a lot? It's to save money, right? Like I'm guessing.
Yeah, so that's something I like to recommend to all my clients, is to use your centerpieces as your aisle runners.
Okay.
And you save money, and it's complimentary. Some florists I know charge extra if
To
you want to
stay-
repurpose.
Okay. To move
and
it.
then to move everything. So we'll stay and then move everything into your centerpieces, and I'll even add on usually, because usually when you use them as aisle runners, like you can't really see the sides.
Mhm.
But once you place it on a table, now it's a 360 view.
Nice.
So I like to make sure everything is completely covered in lush. So we'll stay to do all the.
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. But yeah, that's typically the only time that I see florists stay behind is typically they're just
to repurpose.
they're gonna take it down and repurpose, or like they're gonna move the whole flower arch like
Arch, right.
inside. They're gonna but yeah, they're gonna move that. But other than that, like if everything was set and it was good to go, they just typically, I think they all just leave.
Yeah.
I don't think
I guess
they
that's the
stay
difference
behind.
between just florist and a floral experience, like what
Yeah, an
Daniel's
experience,
selling
yeah.
here, huh?
Like yeah, full service. But
Yeah, that's cool.
but that you mentioned that goes back to your background in like planning and coordination, because
Right.
you have that mindset of making sure that you're delivering what you said you would deliver, plus that all the details are going to be correct. So there's really at the end of the day, there's no room, because you're still there to fix it. There's no room for them to like be like, oh, I wish it, because you're going to do that. You're going to fix it. Like,
Right.
yeah. So that's nice, because then there's no way to come back and say, well, no, because you're there. So they could just tell you like, I wish I had more of this. And then you have it. So you just do it on the spot.
Right.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah. Cause yeah, there's been plenty of times we've seen it where we just hear it like, oh, it's not exactly the way, it's not what I thought it would be. I thought there'd be more of this, and yeah, that's cool. Overall, you're just fixing it. Let's talk about this. So you brought this today, and then there's different things going on here. And so my question is when someone is considering floral, if like let's say I'm gonna do, I don't know, like a coral violet theme. Okay, I'm gonna do a coral violet theme. Um, do people have to? I'm just super curious. Do people have to consider like if they want certain colors of flowers to match their like aesthetic? Um, do they have to consider that when planning a date for their wedding? Like if you want certain colors, like are there parts of the year where you just can't get a certain color of flower, or is there just so many options for different flowers that you maybe you can get the color but not the exact flower you wanted, or how does that work? Like, if someone wants a specific color aesthetic, does that have to go into consideration like as far as flowers being seasonal?
So flowers are seasonal, but there will always be the flower you're looking for somewhere.
Somewhere.
It will just be more expensive depending if it's off season or if it's in season. So when you choose a wedding date, it could depend on your budget. Like, do you have the budget to just pay for the overpriced, like off season floral, or do you want to take into
Mm.
consideration that your budget is a set budget? And to comply with it, you're going to choose a time period where the floral is in season.
Okay, so that would keep your costs. It would keep your costs down essentially if you knew what kind of aesthetic you wanted, what kind of flowers you wanted. If you were to talk to a florist about that, they could like you could guide somebody like, well,
Yeah, so if you want, let's say, like a tropical wedding, and you come to me looking for an invoice, you're like, I want to spend this much, but I want to try to keep the costs like as low as possible, but get the most that I can for my money. So then I'll tell you if the floral is going to be in season during the wedding date that you have chosen. And if it is, perfect. If it's not, I'll recommend when another possible date for you could be. And that's something that you can take into consideration to help with your budget.
but how often do people already have the date and they come to you and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, like here's my," cuz everybody books vendors in a different order. I've always found that super interesting, like what how people decide, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever's most important to them, I think. But how often do people come to you and like they were hoping for something and it's like you're not being dishonest. You're giving them the numbers and they're like, "Whoa." Like how
Right.
often does that happen?
Not as often as you think.
Really?
So usually clients primarily will book their venue first
Right.
because it's sometimes they want a venue that's like really popular. So they'll just take any date that the venue has. So they'll do that first. Once they have that, then they'll start going down the list of vendors. So by the time they come to me as a florist, they've already have booked the venue. So it's really hard to change the date. So if they want a certain like floral theme, but it's off season, I can work with their budget by giving them like different ideas. Like, let's use the same color story, but let's replace this flower with
Mhm.
something that looks almost similar, but you'll save so much more.
Right. Okay. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I always wondered how that worked because when people have like very specific color themes, I'm like, I wonder how that goes,
Yeah.
like because yeah, when I got married, like we just all we had was a bouquet because we got married on the beach, so we just all we had was a bouquet, so it wasn't anything that was hard to get or like make or anything like that, and that's all we had. You had some pretty intricate.
Yeah, ours were
Your wife's bouquet was pretty.
they were dried. They were dried
Oh, wow.
flowers.
Okay.
Yeah. She wanted the fall colors, and we did it during the fall. So it was November 1st, right? That's
Yeah.
fall. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
You're
know.
in trouble
I
now,
don't know.
dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're
No,
on
I don't know if
camera,
it's
dude.
fall. I don't know if it's fall. The season. I think that's right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
but
think so,
yeah, who knows? But yeah, we had dried flowers. I forgot the exact colors. It was like orange and black, I think were the main ones.
Like
Uh,
terracotta, black.
yes, yeah, exactly. I wish I paid more attention to that. I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. Yeah, I had a little boutonniere. I remember that.
boutonniere.
Yeah, I don't remember that too
So
much.
interesting he brings this up because usually with clients, the groom never knows what the florals will look like until the day of
I'm sure.
the wedding.
That I did know because I would say, like you said, the very first important thing was the venue because obviously we need to know where we're
Mhm.
sending all these vendors.
Right.
But then her second thing was definitely the floral. Like she was dead set on getting her flowers that she wanted. Then everything else just kind of came afterward. So yeah, that was her number one thing after the venue was the floral.
The floral did look really good.
Yeah,
Like
but
her bouquet was really cool.
we had ours shipped in, so we didn't have so it was all shipped in. So I don't think we had a florist actually come and drop it off. Or any of
Really?
that, yeah.
You guys did it yourself?
We did everything ourselves, yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
I don't know. A lot of help,
He
yeah.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that about your floral. I assumed somebody came and brought it.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
So in talking about that though, how far out would you recommend someone book their florist?
At least 6 months in advance.
At least 6 months? Is there a better number than that? Like is there
Well, I've had clients book a year in advance.
a year in
Wow.
advance? And that's probably far enough out. So 6 months to a year is pretty
6 months
safe.
to a year is safe.
Okay. And then for you, like, is there a point where someone messages you and it's too short a notice? Like, what's the shortest notice you could comfortably take and then deliver this amazing this amazing level of service you're giving, like where it doesn't degrade that? Like, what's the shortest amount of time someone could book you?
I would say a month.
A month. You could do it in a month. You could
month.
get it done. Like, wow, that's pretty good.
I've
That's
had
pretty good. A
a
month
couple
out.
will they'll book a week in advance.
Really?
Their florist
Wow.
canceled last minute and we made it happen. I just wouldn't recommend waiting
Of
that
course.
long
Right.
Yeah.
because you'll miss out on all the perks that we offer, like the bouquet mock-up,
Mhm.
or like it's not just booking a florist, you're booking a friend. So during those 6 months, like you could text me like, oh, I have this idea, I have this idea, I have this idea. I always encourage everyone to text me, like, just send me everything you like. Let's figure out what you want. So you'll miss out on that friendship
Mhm.
buildup that you get when you book in advance.
Yeah.
So I would say like at least a month, but I always encourage everyone 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's super cool.
For the record, for everybody watching, I am trying to book Daniel, and now I'm getting nervous because I haven't sent him anything. I haven't sent him anything. It's like
We're
coming
no
up.
longer a year in advance.
No,
Yeah.
it's coming up in November, and I've just been like the worst about sending you photos and stuff. But
Be like 2 weeks.
we'll talk after this.
At least you already made him as a friend, so
There you
let
go.
that go.
He's learning today.
He's learning, yeah.
Yeah. This is great. This is a great.
That's
this is a
super
great
cool.
thing here. Yeah. Okay. And then when people book with you, do they typically know everything they need, or do you guide them through that, or like what is it like typically people need? Like we know some of it, right? I mean, just from observation, again, I never booked full floral. I never did that, and apparently he had it all shipped in. So if people book with you, and they let's assume they have ceremony, just for the people watching, walk me through like a typical order of like everything that people should consider ordering, or that people order, from centerpieces to, I don't know, whatever goes on the bridal party. Just walk me through that. Like what should people expect to like have to pay for or order?
Right. So it really depends on the client. Some people will want something extravagant, something traditional, something different. But typically it's a ceremony arch. And then you have aisle runners, which could
runners.
also be your centerpieces. So if you had 10 tables, then you're going to have 10 aisle runners.
Okay,
so we'll
10
do
aisle runners.
5
okay.
and 5 on both sides.
Okay.
And then that's a good number. The more, the better. So the more tables you have, typically weddings are like 100 to 200 people.
Right. Exactly.
So that means you'll have like 10 to 15
10,
to
15,
20.
tables, right?
Right.
Okay.
So that will be good because it'll make your aisle look really lush.
Okay.
After that, of course, you need your bridal bouquet
Mhm.
and your bridesmaids bouquets and your groom's boutonniere and groomsmen boutonnieres. And typically, a lot of people like to add a little bouquet extra for the parent. So the
Okay.
mother of the bride or mother of the groom, and then boutonnieres for the fathers as well.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll get an extra bouquet and reserve a seat for a family member that has passed, and they'll
Okay.
leave it there in memory. That's something really cute. You'll want flower petals for your flower girl to
For the
throw.
row. Okay. Okay.
Or typically what we like to do is also set some flower petals in advance.
Mhm.
That way it's already really full, because sometimes traditionally it's a little girl throwing the
Oh,
little
we've
flower
seen it.
petals
Yeah.
and she doesn't throw enough.
We've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen them just like
Yeah.
as soon as they're out the door, just
Right.
like
It's
3
like-
plops
Right.
and the
Or like one
Drop
petal
it.
at a time. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's empty.
So even before, like, if it's a little girl, like I'll try to tell her like, hey, let's practice. Like, grab a bunch and like just throw it everywhere. Like, get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
And of course, they're kids, so they might not listen. That's why I like to do like ceremony, like fill the aisle with rose
Right.
petals.
That's smart.
So that's
Yeah,
something
that's
I'll
super cool.
always like to recommend.
Yeah.
And it's like a simple, like little like add-on, but it will make a huge difference. Even in your photos or when your guests arrive, they'll see like a full.
Oh yeah, they'll see it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, you can also even close the aisle. That way, none of your guests step on the petals and they can enter through the sides.
I've seen that
Just
for
like that.
the I've seen that for the, you know how sometimes they'll leave like a white I don't even know what it is.
Paper?
Yeah. It's
Or like a
a white,
ribbon to like not pass.
right.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, they'll leave like a white like paper like down the aisle where it's just like for the
Oh, like a runner.
right. Yeah, is that what that's called? Yeah.
Runner.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but does it stay?
Yeah, it stays
It
throughout
stays
the
the
whole
whole time?
ceremony, yeah.
And that's what.
But they block no, it's for the processional. That's they walk along like a white path, but they block it off so that the guests can't walk on it and get their footprints on it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So he's referring to like sometimes when it's like an all white wedding, sometimes they'll have like a white carpet that you get to like walk. But it is very sensitive to footprints. So they'll close it off so that no guest can step on
like
it.
a stanchion or
Yeah.
something.
So I've only seen it closed off for that specifically, but that's super cool. So people don't mess with the flowers. Yeah.
And then after that, they usually always have like a welcome table. So you'll want a floral arrangement there if you choose to. Some people will do like pews. We'll have 2 arrangements on the side of the ceremony arch. It really depends how extravagant you want to go.
Okay.
Oh,
And
super
then
cool.
what about I think I have seen you do, maybe it's not all the time, but I have seen you do like the dessert table and do floral on the cake. How often is that, like, is that not all the time, or it's like some of the time?
So depends on the client as well.
Okay.
Some people will like opt to have more desserts and a tiny cake, or some people want the extravagant, super tall, like 4-tier cake.
Right.
Mhm.
And then I always like to recommend doing a floral cascade.
Yes.
So it's all fresh floral. It's really popular. Once people have seen me post about it, they've been requesting it. So it'll coordinate with all your florals. We'll do the same florals. We'll clean each stem and like insert it
How
cleanly
you clean it?
into the cake.
Nice.
So we'll do a whole cascade.
That's super cool.
Very tedious, but it's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
No, it's funny. It's just funny because I've just seen people just like seen people just, they don't clean it. You've seen
Yeah.
it. They
Yeah,
just
you're
start, like,
right. Yeah,
they
they
just start jamming it in there.
Yeah, you're right.
No, you do not
I don't
wanna
think
do
I've
that.
seen it. I mean, what? Okay, just all right. Just this is funny, but just cleaning this. Okay, so if you're cleaning the floral or you're cleaning the stem, like what does that entail? Like, is it are you using like a cleaner, or is it like what? Yeah, what is that process like to consider it clean? I guess.
Well, I don't want to give away all my
Okay.
secrets.
Okay. No, don't worry about it. No,
But
don't do it. Don't.
you basically just don't insert the stem into the cake.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a whole little
Yeah,
mechanic,
don't, yeah.
so the stem never touches the inside of the cake.
Okay, there we go.
Smart.
Yeah, don't give away.
Do you ever do edible flowers?
Actually, yes,
Yeah.
but I prefer fresh floral always.
Okay.
Because when you try to get edible florals, they
Mhm.
don't really coordinate. It's hard to get some that coordinate with the rest of your florals,
Okay. You're right. Yeah, because color wise and everything.
color wise, and
yeah.
like the
Won't
edible
match with
florals are like
everything
very
else.
limited to like what you'll find.
Right. That's true. Have you seen those?
What,
The
edible?
edible flowers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've eaten like edible flower salads before, like gourmet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, they make them.
That's good. I've never seen those.
Yeah, you
Or
can.
they'll put them like in your drinks.
Yeah, that's where I've seen them. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They are kind of limited.
There's
And
like,
so-
there's fancy salads like that.
Mhm.
Huh.
And in the bar, you also want like a arrangement next to your bar sign. Like typically, you'll have like your 3 signature drinks. You'll want an arrangement there.
Right.
Cocktail tables, you want a little centerpiece. Your welcome table where you have your gifts or your book
Right.
signing. Or sometimes you'll have a table dedicated to photos. You'll want little arrangements there.
Okay. So obviously, all of these flowers are very important. There is one arrangement though that gets thrown around,
There we go.
and it's the
Okay.
toss bouquet. So what do you do? What do you recommend for the toss bouquet? Because I've seen a lot of sometimes the bride will throw like her main bouquet.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
I think
we have.
that's crazy.
We have more questions, but yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Go
I'm
for
glad
it.
you.
Because yeah, the toss bouquet. Okay, so we did a whole 40-minute episode on just the bouquet toss, right?
Okay.
And I've been waiting to get you here to ask you this because we really truly want to know why what happens in the process? Like, and I'm sure you can answer this. So we get a lot of weddings where it's time for the bouquet toss. And then the bride is just like, we go up to the bride, like, you ready to throw your bouquet? And then she's like, yeah, but I don't want to throw my bouquet. And like, well, do you have a toss bouquet? And they're like, she's like, no, I don't. And it's like, and so people can go watch that whole episode to see what we do to work around that. But my question to you is that something you talk about in your process? Because we're just curious why every florist wouldn't be like, hey, are you doing a bouquet toss? Because if you are, you should you should add in a toss bouquet. I can add that in for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're always having to fandangle something or take a bridesmaid's bouquet away, and then the bridesmaid looks all sad because she wanted her to keep her bouquet too. So I just want you, I want to debunk this and find out, if that's a part of your like planning or like discussion, the toss bouquet.
I'm glad you brought that up. So with us, bouquet tosses are complimentary.
Okay.
So you get your bridal bouquet,
Nice.
and complimentary, you'll have a miniature exact version of your bouquet. So that's the one you'll toss. I never recommend brides to toss their bouquet
Right.
because it's so pretty
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. It's
and it's
like
expensive.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I like to recommend that they preserve it.
Right.
Yeah.
So afterwards, like get it preserved, frame it up, keep it forever. You never want to throw it away.
Right.
Yeah.
Like toss it, because when you toss it, it'll get a little bit distraught.
Gets destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll want a bouquet to toss.
That's pretty
And
cool.
it's complimentary with us.
That's good. That's good
And-
news, because I would say what percentage of like 30%, like,
lately it feels like almost nobody has a toss bouquet.
Yeah, it
Is
feels like
in
20
your
to
experience,
30%.
do florists usually charge extra for that?
They do.
Okay.
And the reason why I like to make it complimentary is because when somebody hears like, oh, an extra bouquet, they'll be like, no, I don't need it. You know?
Right.
Yes.
And even though it's like a small cost to add an extra one, like
Yeah.
a lot of people will choose not to do it.
Yeah.
And then they'll end up throwing their bouquet or not, it's
Yeah.
just too much.
Yeah.
So I always like to just include a complimentary bouquet. It'll match your bouquet, and then you prevent having to like get rid of yours.
Get yours that you've spent all this time like
we
trying to
have been
perfect.
wondering about this, and I have been waiting to ask a florist about this, because it just seems like, why are there so many weddings where they're doing a bouquet toss, but they don't have a toss bouquet? And then it gets more complicated when they don't have bridal parties, so there is no bridesmaids bouquets to toss.
So
And
you don't
then-
even know what to toss.
No, we're just scrambling. We're just pulling something from the centerpieces, or
I actually had a bride 2-3 weeks ago where she had her main bouquet and she's just like ripping flowers out of
out?
it. Yeah.
This
And
is
then
the
just
stuff that
tossing
happens, man.
that. And I was
This is
like,
the stuff you don't get to see. Yeah, we
Yeah.
see. This is the stuff we see at the reception. We're like, I don't know. This is why there's a 40-minute episode on the bouquet toss, because I just
And it's so easy to prevent that.
yeah.
so easy.
Yeah.
And that's why we did that episode, to talk people through it. Like, hey, like there's all these different options you have, but if you are gonna throw a bouquet, like get a toss bouquet, because you don't. When we said the same thing, like you said, you don't want to throw your bouquet. It's expensive. It's yours. I mean, I'm sure there are. I know there has been brides that I've worked with, and they don't care. Like they're just like, yeah, I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep it, and then so they just throw theirs, and that's fine.
Sometimes they're scary though. Like sometimes they're really heavy. Like there's some
Yes.
throwing like a 40-pound weight in the air. Like
Yeah.
Just launching it.
yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. No, they can.
Like,
They can
Get a toss
they can be
bouquet.
big and heavy. Yeah.
And give
That's
anyone
it.
a concussion. So.
The toss bouquet is a lot smaller,
Yeah.
and it's just easier to throw that.
Yeah. Easier.
I have seen recently, instead of a bouquet toss, the bride will dedicate their bouquet to like their
Yes.
mother,
Seeing that, yeah, we've
We've seen
talked
that a
about
lot
this.
lately.
somebody important to them, and I think that's really cute.
That's really sweet.
But even with those, even with the bouquet dedications that we've seen, I've still seen a secondary bouquet some of the time. Yeah.
That's what I would always recommend, because you want to keep your bouquet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or usually when you do the bouquet toss, it's still early on in your wedding. So even after that, you're gonna want your bouquet to take photos or dance with your bouquet. Like you don't want to get rid of it too early.
Right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if things start early, like they'll go do like sunset photos and stuff,
Right.
or they'll take them away to go shoot somewhere at night. They'll do night shots.
Right.
But the bouquet is shredded or destroyed, or got thrown or something. So they wouldn't have that as an option to have for those photos. So yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to stay like usually the whole wedding, because by the end of the day, like bridesmaids will have tossed their bouquets everywhere or like dance with them, and they
Right.
will get a little bit beat up. So I'll like to come and freshen them up.
Oh wow.
Nice. That's cool.
Or the groom's boutonniere, since it's not in water the whole day, sometimes it will like start to like wilt a little bit. So I'll
Right.
like to replace the flowers and make sure it's fresh, so that
Okay.
in all his photos, the boutonniere is perfect.
Even at the end of the night, that's super cool. And I know earlier you said you coach them on how to hold the bouquet down the aisle. Do you ever coach them on how to toss it? That's another thing we
Good
kind of talked
question.
about. Yeah.
We did talk about this on the
Yeah.
bouquet episode.
So the brides, I will tell them, usually since I'm there the whole wedding, I will be the one to go get the extra bouquet to toss. And so before I hand it to her, I'll tell her like grab it here and like
Nice.
just kind of coach them
Yeah.
to like how to throw it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, more people should do that.
Yeah, because nobody's doing
Nobody's
that.
doing.
Yeah,
Nobody's coaching people on how to throw a bouquet. Like, so we're
That's
gonna have to do a step-by-step video on how to do it. And then yeah, that's cool that you just offer it like it's already, because I just wish it was always like that, because bouquet toss is like one of the things that we find ourselves scrambling for to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And
So
go ahead.
with Corv & Co, we do provide 3 services, and I always like to recommend clients to book all 3 because it's one head controlling your whole wedding who manages every aspect of your wedding,
Yeah.
And so when it's only just a floral, like when they only hire me as the florist, I still have the mindset of an event planner or coordinator. So I know what the event planner or coordinator is thinking, would want. So that's why I like to offer the complimentary bouquet, because I don't want an event planner or coordinator to stress having to build a DIY little
Right.
bouquet toss.
Yeah.
Little details like that.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I did a wedding at a venue that I regularly work, and it was time for the bouquet toss, and the banquet captain, like, he was already at the table and he was talking to her, and I saw them just like this whole thing, and she's throwing her arms up, and then he comes back to the DJ booth and he's like, "Hey, guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "She doesn't have a toss bouquet." He's like, "I think I've seen this in a podcast somewhere." And I was like,
I wonder where.
I was like, yeah, I was like, exactly, dude. I was like, this is the what we say here is it's like it's real deal. It's like stuff that happens on the wedding day. I do want to get into a little bit about um like with floral, what is the biggest thing that affects like how much you're spending? You already mentioned in season, off season. That can make it more expensive. What else? Is it like what else do you factor into your services? Obviously I know if there's how much floral would affect that, but what other things maybe could affect the cost of floral that people may not think of? Like, is it how far you have to travel? Is it distance? Is it like what are the different things that maybe can affect like how much you're spending on floral?
Okay. 2 things. I would say obviously your design, how extravagant it is, but also weather. So if you're getting married during the summer, your florists should have extra florals to replace your florals as they begin to wilt. Because even though they're good quality, they're in water, the heat is really strong and it will wilt some of the flowers. And you don't want to have like a ugly wilted flower. So your florist, that's why I like to stay all day, make sure everything is perfect. I will replace anything that is starting to wilt or anything.
Wow. So how extravagant, and then whether it's in the summer, but what about does distance, like, no, like wherever you're based out of, like, does that, how far you have to go, or like does that affect cost of your services?
Very little.
Very
I
little.
would say like delivery is like the last thing, because the main thing, I want you to spend all your money into florals.
Okay. Nice.
So we don't have any hidden additional costs because I really want you to have the best florals you can.
Right.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
But also if it's like windy weather, then the base of the florals needs to be prepped a certain way to withstand the wind. So it's like
Interesting.
little details like that.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be like a ton of factors that would affect it.
I never thought about the weather thing, but yeah.
No, I never thought about that either.
Daniel's right though. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
especially here in Southern California, it gets so hot. So it's
Well, we also have a lot of all outdoor weddings.
Yeah,
We
that's
do
true.
we do all outdoor weddings, and
It's true. There is no inside
I mean,
reception.
even if it's not that hot, what he's saying is, it's still gonna wilt. Like
Right.
even, like it's gonna, yeah.
That's something I never would have thought about, and I wonder how many people think about that at all. Is that something you kind of talk about? Like you coach them
Yeah.
on it?
So it's not just florals, there's like mechanics to it,
Okay.
especially with arches.
Yeah.
Like you'll have to prep extra to make sure the arch doesn't move at all. So it's just a lot of those things that will add on to the cost, but it's like very minimal.
Okay.
But primarily it's just a design. Like what design do you want? What florals you want to
Mhm.
use? Because different florals have different prices.
Nice.
What do you think what is the most expensive like flower, or like what's the hardest to get, most expensive?
I would say peonies.
What is that? I'm gonna have to Google it later.
So it's really popular for brides because it's a white floral,
Okay.
but it can be expensive and it's tiny. So if you want to use it in huge quantities, it can add up.
Why is it so expensive? Is it hard to come by?
It's just hard to get.
Yeah,
It's
hard to
so
get.
delicate that even like whoever ships the florals, like you'll lose a lot of the floral just because of how delicate it is.
Wow.
So to them, it's like a risk.
So
like
there's already a
ordering
loss.
there's already a loss for them. That's why if they do lose a lot of a batch, then that batch is going to be even more expensive. So
Where-
supply and demand, like
Where are they native to? Are they like close?
I'm actually not sure.
Sure. Okay. So I
Oh.
wonder how far they're coming from.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like the stem is just so delicate.
Oh,
Like,
the
if you get
stem.
water on the little petal, like it will start to
Done.
brown, it'll rot,
Wow.
and it will start to rot all the neighboring flowers.
Oh no.
That's one thing about florals as well. You never want to wet the top of the floral,
Mm.
especially roses. Do not wet it at all.
Don't wet
Do
it.
not get it in water because it will start
Everybody
to brown.
listening, don't wet it.
Do not wet it. It will start to get so brown and it will start to like rot everything else and super quick.
Wow. Is that also affected? Like let's say it rains. If it rains, does that affect that as well, or not so much?
Not so much because it's not sunny. It's more like if you wet it and it's in the sun, it will start to rot.
Got it.
Wow. And I would think I would be the guy that's like, let's water these. Let's keep them fresh.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot.
That's what I would think.
You'll get a spray and just spray
Yes.
all over it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
please
That's
don't
what-
do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I would think. I'd be like, I'm saving these flowers.
Yeah.
They're gonna die.
So they only drink from the stem,
Only.
except for hydrangea. They drink from the actual petal. So you need to drench those. Like you dip it into a bucket of water, and that is how they get their water.
Wow.
Is that one of these here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this
this is
green hydrangea right here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Wow. That's crazy.
But for everything else, especially roses, because that's the
Stem.
stereotypical for weddings, never wet the top of the flower.
Interesting.
Wow.
I never knew that.
This is a lot of interesting information.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Like,
cool.
yeah.
But I'll be there to ensure that your florals don't get
Right. Let's talk about too. Tell us. I mean, I know I already have one in mind, but what are some more like just talk about some, just to give people ideas, like what are some more like unique or extravagant setups you've done? The one that I think you already know what I have in mind is the tropical arch you did. Was, I wish people, if that watch this, I wish they would go to your Instagram and go see that, because that arch, I remember getting on site and being like, whoa, like this is like, I had never seen anything like it, because it wasn't just like a little bit, it was like so full, and it was a tropical arch. And then remind me if I'm wrong, but that was the first time you had done something like that, right?
Yeah, that was my first tropical wedding.
Wow.
First time working with tropical flowers, and I just love how it turned out.
It turned out amazing. How long did it take you? How much time did you spend on that arch just by itself? Because that was a lot.
Only an hour.
Only an hour. You did that in an
Wow.
hour. Looks like a lot more work. I'll show you the pictures
Yeah.
after, because he did his tropical arch because it was a Hawaiian.
I remember
Hawaiian-
that one.
Yeah, the Hawaiian
I think I
themed
saw
wedding.
it actually.
Yeah, when they had fire guys and they had the performers and the hula dance, like
That's-
insane. It was a full on luau. It was like a full on luau.
Wow.
They really transformed.
Yeah,
And the flowers just added to everything.
yeah,
That's
and he did a
awesome.
killer job with all these tropical flowers. I had never seen floral like that before. Not tropical. And it's funny because I've done like Polynesian, Hawaiian like weddings, and
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like what he put together
yeah.
like at that wedding. Do you have any other like projects that you just really loved, like that were unique or different in some kind of way?
Yeah, but to add on first,
Okay.
um, I really love the whole Hawaiian thing. And I love how versatile we are with florals. So some florists can only like do one niche style of
Right.
florals, but I can do all cultures, all styles. And one of my favorite weddings that we did recently was a color block wedding. So it's basically based on like this arrangement. You see how all the florals are kind of like in sections. So
Yes.
that's what we call color blocking, and it's trending right now. You'll keep like certain colors in each section, and I just think it elevates everything. So for all the people out there that are on a budget, I always recommend to color block because it just makes everything look high end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did a wedding where everything was this style, similar color story, and I just love how it looked. It just looks so beautiful, so lush, and so unique
Do you
and
have
different.
do you have do you personally have like um besides color blocking, do you have like your favorite flowers?
My favorite,
Yeah, what would be your favorite flowers like to work with?
I would say hydrangea.
Hydrangea? Yeah. What do you like so much about it? Because it's like it's the look or the fullness or how it comes out on camera. Like what?
I just love how high end it looks. It's
Okay.
very delicate to work with, but if you figure out how to work with it, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm gonna have to show you. I'm gonna show. We're gonna talk after because I'm going to show you pictures of what my wife wants for the 10-year vow renewal. But I'm interested to see now. You know, I'll be like, maybe like, no, I have to cancel this because he said it's not going to be in season. So
Yeah.
Well, you could
Rebook
take
the
this
wedding.
home to her
oh yeah,
so she can have a little example,
yeah,
an
yeah,
idea.
yeah. She's seen your. I've showed her your work. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah. But now I've learned so much on this episode that I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
might have to rethink a couple things maybe
Right.
once we talk. But no, it is cool that you are so like versatile with your work and everything that you do and the work that I've seen. It's never the same. It always looks a little bit different and that's just probably you like, creating and stuff because this is something that I couldn't do because when I see flower arrangements, I'm like, "Ah, I don't my mind doesn't work like that." I think it's a s it's a I think you're really talented and skilled in that sense, and you
Thank
have to
you.
be, you know what I mean? You have to be in these creative spaces, like, not everyone can do everything,
Right.
and I would even venture to say, even if you were to teach me, like, I would only be mimicking, whereas you are creating, there's a difference. Like, there's a difference, like, even in me I could teach someone how to DJ, but I can't teach them the creativity and how I
Right.
mix
It
or
has to come natural.
there has to be some kind. I feel like there has to be some kind of natural talent, and I think that's where some people excel, you know? Um, I so before we get to the very end and get all your socials and all that stuff, um, for people that are watching, tell me this: how 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 far do you go for your services? Like how far can you go? Can you go? I mean, like what's the furthest you've been or like how far are you willing to go? Like out of state? Like could people book you all over California or are you only just like, in a certain region?
So majority of our clientele is SoCal, but we've flown. We've gone to Colorado, we've
Wow.
gone to Nevada, and I'm looking forward to keep on flying. Like I'll go anywhere.
You'll
There's
go
no
anywhere
limit.
and it's not too difficult like you like to source everything. It's just like do you just fly in and get it there? Like source it when you go out of state?
Depends on the floral.
Depends.
So for the wedding we did in Colorado, we did have to ship some florals ourselves because you couldn't find it there.
Mm,
Mm,
that's crazy. That's
that's what I
crazy.
figured. Yeah.
That's cool that yeah, that's cool. So
But
if
we
people are watching, it doesn't matter where they are, they could reach out to you and
correct.
see what's going
But
on.
we are based in downtown LA,
Yeah.
and so we service all of SoCal.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. That's
Cool.
cool. And then is there do you have anything else that you want to throw out there? Any last thoughts or any final recommendations for people that are like planning, getting ready, having their floral, anything that you would suggest or any final ideas?
I would say obviously book me.
Yes.
But if you have to book another florist, look for a florist that wants the best for you.
Right.
Because a lot of times you'll tell them your vision and they'll say like, oh, let's do this instead. But in a cold way where it's not like kind of like guiding your influence. It's kind of just kind of telling you what to do.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of florists are just like business aspect
Right.
where it's just like, let's do this, or you need 5 of this, 7 of this. And there's like no like relationship. That's why I like to always recommend when you book vendors, book someone who's going to be your friend, wants the best for you, will like guide you,
Mhm.
will answer any question you have. I always tell my clients, ask me, text me anytime you want, ask me anything because you're really only getting married once
Yeah.
and you can't redo it, hopefully. And so you just want everything to be perfect. Like you don't want to be the day of your wedding and then like, wow, I wish I had done this instead, or I wish I had did this differently.
Right.
That's why like let's talk about everything. Choose someone who will really listen to what you want
Right.
and will make sure they have the best intentions for you.
Do you think just in that, I mean, that's a good thing. Just to talk about really quick is do you think when you're hiring a florist, it's more about like the relationship and the connection over like, let's say, like experience, like if someone's a florist but they only have a little bit of a catalog or portfolio to show, but if you like that person and you connect and they're listening to you, is that the most important thing? Like
I would say their portfolio is the most important.
portfolio is the most important
It
thing.
doesn't matter how long they've been in the industry, as long as they have a good portfolio
Yeah.
where you can see that they can do what they say they can do.
Right.
That's the most important part.
That's the most important
Because
part.
when I started off, since I'm new in the business and I'm young, I sense some hesitation when booking new clients, but having a strong portfolio, that's what really sealed the deal because that proves that you can do everything that you're saying you can do.
Right.
Because that's what you don't want. You don't want someone who's going to promise a lot of things and then not execute the things they're promising. So you want to make sure they're good in like communication, but also they have a strong portfolio.
Yeah. Do
So
you
I-
go ahead.
so it's not really based on how many years you've been in the industry, as long as you can actually produce the work.
Yeah. Do you think there's just something you said? I don't remember exactly what you said, but it made me think. Just really quick is do you think a lot of florists do like cookie cutter type work? Like here's some arrangements you can choose from. Like what like or 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 do you think all of them are working from scratch, like to create like the vision of whoever?
I would say it depends. You see both.
You see both.
See a lot of florists when they have to mass produce the same item, like let's say you want this like for 20 tables. They start to get a little bit cookie cutter and like sloppy towards the end when trying to reproduce something in grand scale. So that's why I always like to make sure I'm there the whole day just to make sure every little detail was like not overlooked.
Mm-hmm. And when they hire you, is it always you?
So it's me and my team that we have the day of.
But you're never not there. Like you don't, like for instance, like let's say
I will always be there.
you will be there. You wouldn't, like if we worked for the company, you wouldn't be like, hey guys, okay, go take these and
No,
it's
I
you.
will always be there to have the final say and make sure everything is perfect before your ceremony.
That's
And
cool.
I always hand deliver the bouquet to the bride.
Would you ever have a plan of expanding, and would you ever trust somebody to do what you do under your company name? I'm just curious.
So we've done 3 weddings in a Saturday, but I will show up to every single one.
But you still show, yeah, that's it.
Wow,
You still
that's
show
awesome,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, you're still
I will
there.
never not. No matter how stressful it is, I will always show up because I want to make sure you're happy.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's really
It's just like after talking for so long, like let's say they book 6 months in advance, we will talk almost every week usually because you're building a friendship,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the day of the wedding, I'm happy to stay because I want to make sure everything is perfect and because you've become my friend and I want to like see you get married,
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like a fun like friendship and then it's always hard to say goodbye
Aw.
because you've like talked to
It's
this
been a
person
whole
for
journey.
so long. It's been a journey. You know everything about them. You get to learn their story, how they met, how they like got proposed to. It's just like a friendship that you build.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll stay in communication.
Really?
Well, they'll
Oh yeah,
come
yeah,
back and hire me for future events.
yeah. Right.
That's true. Because you do more than just weddings, right? You do
Right. So we do florals and event planning for everything.
everything. There you go.
Yeah, I
So-
think for me, staying like when I do build a good connection, I stay connected with a couple. Like one of the most like I think like fun, exciting things for me to see is when they have their first baby.
Yes.
Like when I follow them on social media and they have a baby, I'm always like, oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, like to have played a part. I mean, to have played a part in their love story, like, like, even I'm not family and maybe, like we don't hang out or anything, but like to have played a part in that and then see them grow as a couple, like it's really a unique experience. Like you said, when you stay in some kind of connection, even if it's just following on social media, it's like when you see them growing as a family and stuff, it's like it's like a strange, unique like connection, that you have because you're there for like one of the most intimate days of their life, and then now you get to see them also now like building a family, having a baby. It's like it's a really unique experience to be a wedding vendor, I would say.
That's my favorite part. I have this couple that the groom hired me to do the proposal and then the wedding. And then when they had their first baby, I did the baby shower. That is just like such a unique experience. We have the baby's first year birthday coming up next month.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that as well. It's just, you just
That's
become
crazy.
family.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sometimes you do. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you do. There are some people where I've done this person's wedding and that person's wedding and then this party and that. And then it's like, and you just kind of become the guy. And then like, yeah, you get to know people and it becomes that kind of connection. It's unique. It's definitely unique. Let's do this. Let's go through all your socials. So, website, any social media, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you have, let me have you give that to everybody.
Okay. All our socials will be Core Event Co. That's COREVENTCO. You can find us anywhere. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or Gmail. If you want to reach out to us, it's coreeventsco@gmail.com. And you can look into our social media page and see everything we do. And I guarantee you'll be impressed.
Yeah.
I already am.
Yeah. There's a lot that we talked about today that like I'm gonna have to process and think about because I was like, wow, it's when in doing this, it's like it's a byproduct and something that I didn't really. I know I knew I didn't know everything, but I thought I knew a lot. But these podcasts are making me feel like I don't know a lot,
Right?
Like not as much as I thought I
Yeah.
did. Especially about other vendors and the inner working. So this was really cool. I just want to say thank you again for being on the show, and in the future if we can have you back for something to talk about something else, let's do it. We can talk about planning coordination. We can do some of that, but thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this, please subscribe, leave a comment, a like, wherever you're watching this. Again, you can watch and listen to this on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We are all over the place. So wherever your preferred spot is, please go subscribe. And also, wherever you are on Spotify or YouTube, you can also leave a comment for us if you have questions about your own wedding. All of Daniel's socials will be in the description below, especially if you're on YouTube or Spotify. You'll be able to find all of his information. We'll have that linked, and especially on YouTube, all the links will be in the description. So please check him out. Go follow him, and thank you guys for watching.